Hello and welcome to this little miniature sneak preview of Elder Traveler. Elder Traveler is a simplified version of Elder Council, at least sort of simplified. Instead of managing a town, you're managing a caravan. Again, it's a cooperative game, so the idea is everybody around the table is working together to try and get whatever your objective is complete. This game is scenario based, so you're given a scenario and you're trying to complete whatever the scenario says. So, just quickly getting into this game, we have 4 phases. There is the movement, actions, events, and then cleanup. So, I'm going to quickly basically go into it. When you move, everybody decides where they want the caravan to move. So the caravan is currently here. You can move into any adjacent space. So I can move into any of these spaces that are currently on the board. I can move into any empty zone. And so let's say I want to go that way for my scenario because I need to get something that's over there. So I could go onto this mountain, but climbing up the mountain is strenuous and adds a march token. Now moving already adds a march token, so this adds an additional march token, so it's pretty hard. But instead I'm going to move onto this space, and I flip over the top tile. It's a forest, so I go over here. If I look at the forest, it gives me +1 to hunting and gathering results. That's basically hunting and gathering are actions. They're skill-based actions, so you are trying to. I'll get back to them later, basically. Both these, mountain and forest, both say each player gains 1 action. So, no matter which one of these 2 tiles I went onto, I would get 1 action during the action phase. So, I then go on to the action phase. Like I said, each player gains 1 action. If you have fewer players, you gain a bonus action, but I'm just going to do 1 action for the sake of showing this off. So, seeing that I'm here, I may as well do a hunt action, because, I don't know, I think I need more food. So, I should probably say this. I moved, so I have to add a march token, which is what the red dice represents here. So, yes, I'm going into the action phase. I want to do a hunt action. There are 11 different types of actions in the game, I should probably point out before I go too far into this. A lot of them are very similar, so you don't have to worry too much about remembering the 11 types of actions. Most of them are choose your action, roll your skill check, then draw a card of that action type. The actions each have a different result that you're aiming for, but they'll always resolve slightly differently depending on what the card says. So, like I said, I'm going to take a hunt action. When I take an action, no other player at that point in time can take that action. So basically everybody takes 1 action simultaneously. They choose the action, no player can take the same action, and they also choose villagers that are going to go along with them. Travelers that are going to go along with them. So I'm going to say the hunter and the guide is coming with me. Maybe other players have taken other characters, but the hunter and the guide are coming with me. So, the first thing I need to do is look for icons which have the hunt icon. So this arrow is the hunt icon. So this hunter has 2 dice to hunting. This guide has no hunt icon and has no special ability for hunting, so he adds just 1, a single point. I myself only add a single point too, because I just do. So, I add 1, the guide adds 1, the forest, like I said earlier, adds 1 to hunting, so that's 3. I then roll 2 dice. I roll an 8, which means I have 11, and then I draw a card to see what my result is. So each of these cards has a lesser result and a major result. I got the 10 to 13 band, so I get this lesser result, which would be 5 food and an animal carcass. An animal carcass is an item card that gets added to the caravan. If I got the greater result, I get 5 food and a gemmed idol, which again is another item that gets added to the caravan. I'm not going to do this because you kind of get the idea. Basically, I get food and stuff for doing hunt. And that's the end of the action phase, because you only get 1 action each. I've done my action, so we're moving on to the next phase. The next phase is the event phase. Oops, these are kind of falling apart. The event phase, you do 2 events each event phase. It's not like the Elder Council event phase. The event phase in this is very simple. You draw 1 event for the tile you're sitting on, and then you do 1 event for the caravan. So the tile happens first, so I draw an event for the tile I'm sitting on. I get this event. This event basically gives me a choice. I can look into this house or ignore it. If I look into this house, I get the curved bow, which is this item here, which gives me bonuses to hunting and combat, which is quite nice. It's a +2 to hunting and combat, which is quite nice. But I would add an event to the caravan event deck. I'm going to do that. I could ignore this entirely and just discard the card, but I'm going to do this part, and I'm going to take this bow. So this bow gets added to the caravan. That can be given to a traveler or a player anytime, and then this gets discarded. Oh yeah, I need to add the event to the caravan event deck. So this is the caravan event deck. This is the F12 event that gets put on the bottom of the caravan event deck. Then we reveal the top caravan event because we go on to the caravan event, and we read what it says. So a fight is broken out, a random traveler has been wounded. I'm just going to wound the hunter for the sake of time, and then I get a choice. I can either, once breaking up the fight, I can just leave them to it and let them solve their differences themselves, which would add another event to this deck on the bottom. Or I could run them through some training exercises as like punishment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that because although I lose a morale for doing it, the wounded character also gains 1 combat token, which I don't have the combat tokens made yet, so I'm just going to put this black token on here. So I have added a +1 combat token, so she's slightly better at combat now. But she, of course, has taken a wound, which isn't particularly nice. This event goes away, it's as simple as that, and then this deck is shuffled for the next round. Then we go into cleanup. Cleanup is also pretty simple. You lose 1 food for every 3 characters you have. That's including players, so I have the guide plus hunter plus me, so I lose 1 food. If I had another character and have 4 characters, I would need to use 2 food to feed everyone, and that extra food is just wasted. So anyway, so I have 3 characters, so I lose 1 food. Then we also look at how many march tokens we have, and we lose that much morale. People don't like marching for days on end, so you have to do that. And then finally, we are back at the beginning of the round. So round 2, I think, well, we're back at movement phase, so I think we are going to rest. Resting basically means that you don't move anywhere and you get to do a couple of things. Namely, you get to remove all march tokens, so you don't have to worry about them, and you gain an additional action during the action phase. So I'm on forest, so I get 1 action for being here, and I get 1 additional one for resting. So I get 2 actions during the action phase. So the first action I'm going to show off is probably one of my favorite actions in the game, and it's called chat. You're thinking, okay, how does this work? How is chat ever going to be useful in a game like this? Well, chat is the action which allows you to basically bond your characters together in kind of like, basically like having the characters kind of group up. It's like teamwork. So when you chat, you choose a character to come along with you. You take their top card, which their top wound card, which is the ones that are turned sideways, and you flip it over. This bottom bit is all flavor text. It's all like the story of the character, but the top bit is the bond itself. So this bond gives gathering +1, and it will give it to any character which is interested in the wilds. So this guide here is interested in the wilds and mysteries. So this guide is going to gain this bond. So this guide now has +1 to gathering, which is quite nice because he's already got +1 dice to gathering. So he gets +1 dice, +1 to gathering. This hunter also has got a bonus because her combat has gone up by an additional die. So now she has combat of 2 dice instead of 1. These bonds can also, instead of just being blanket or like flat stat upgrades, can also be different types of upgrades. For example, this character doesn't like cities, so he wants to get out of them as fast as possible. And when the person who has this bond is trading, he removes one march token from the caravan to basically allow you to get out of cities faster, which can be nice. So that's chat. It allows you to bond your characters together. I'm going to show you a second action, which is scout. Now, when you scout, you basically choose a location that's beside you. I'm going to choose here, and you draw the next tile, and you place the tile in the location. Right, so this tile is a special tile. There is a number of things that can happen in the game which result in basically it'll say open pack X. And this game is kind of a legacy type game where there's going to be a load of content kind of packed in these little packages which are not allowed to open until specific things happen. Uncovering these tiles is one of those specific things that can allow you to open one of these packages. Other things that can be like certain events happen, or people die, or loads of different things can happen. I don't like to think of it too much like a legacy game because I think legacy games are very destructive. You're usually destroying stuff or like stickering things. This is more like an unfolding game, unpacking. You just kind of expand as you play, which is quite nice. So yeah, you basically get to open up the pack. You get information about how this tile works and some extra events and some other things happening, and that would be it. Yeah, so you basically add those cards to the game and you continue playing. The game ends when either you complete your objectives for the scenario, or all your travelers that are traveling with you either die or leave. They can leave if you run out of morale, for example, or they can die if they lose all their cards, which are what these are for. Each character has between about 3 and 5 health. There's one character with 2 and there's one character with 7, so I like I said, 3 and 6 health. So they can be quite fragile if you're not careful. And that's it. That's the entirety of the game. I hope you enjoy this little like sneak peek at Elder Traveler. I can't wait to actually get this like made into a full thing. I have tested it digitally once so far, so we'll see how it goes. Anyway, catch you later. Bye.